Hello, welcome to AAA Wargaming. This is going to be the third battle of the English Championships, and I am against Infernal Dwarfs. This was the third and last one of the day, so I drank a bit of booze by this point, so don't don't judge me too much. The secondary objective was I do not. It was hold the ground. Sorry, I do not know why I put that in. Obviously, work is pretty stressful at the moment. I'm just banging these out when I can. But the deployment was counter thrust, and I knew I didn't do very well from this because I completely forgot about the 20-inch rule for the first three drops. So I was pushed pretty far back, but I don't think that was a bad thing. I've played Infernal Dwarfs a couple of times. It's always obviously not a very easy one for Sylvanels, and with the objective to hold the centre, I wasn't confident on that side. But looking at the list, I wasn't too bothered about it. I thought I'd have to be careful about Healing Waters. I remember thinking, don't take Healing Waters. He's got a Pyromaster. As you'll find out, I took Healing Waters. But I think my Avatar of Nature would be quite good here. He hasn't got his tank and lots of big tanky stuff to do it. So I thought they'd be in good stead. I thought my Dryads would be able to take out his smaller units. And I've got some key threats with the Wild Huntsman and Blade Dancers. There's nothing really that I was amazingly scared of in combat. So I'll have a look at his list. So he's got a Master on Pyromancy with Talisman of the Void. So lots of channel with. He also got the Lamassu that's got really good, cool dynamics. So either I get to choose an extra channel for it, so channels 2, or he gets to take an extra spell. I'm thinking I don't want an extra spell because it just creates so much that I cannot stop. So whatever he wants to get off, it will go off. So I tend to choose an extra channel on that one. I know that seems quite risky with the Pyromaster, but it's the way it goes. He's got a Battle Standard Bearer with Mask of Ages. Effectively, I can't kill the thing easily. The Citadel Guard with Pistol and Spear and Standard Bearer with a Flaming Standard, so any Healing Waters or his Hereditary spell, which I know he usually takes. Oh, sorry, apologies. I should have said I was playing Joe Palmetta. Lovely bloke. He's been on a few things on the Hobgoblin. He's a big Makar player, but he is also an Infernal Dwarf player, which I did not know about. So this is the second time I played him. First time was with Makar, and now this time with Infernal Dwarf. So it was a good time to meet him again. He had 17 Citadel Guard as well with a Flintlock Axe. These are the ones I thought, okay, maybe my Dryads can go after these ones and the Shackled Slaves. Disciples of Lugar, is that 5+ Aegis is not something I want to put my Wild Huntsman into, but I think everything else, I'd be happy with my Blade Dancers and my Dryads going into them, but it's going to be difficult with those. It's a risk with my, potentially a risk with the Avatar, because just because of the 5+ Aegis, they'll hold him up for a bit and be able to go through it. And then the Immortals, they have an Aegis against Stomp, which I found out partway through, so 5+ Aegis, and they just don't run. You have to kill all of them. It's so annoying. As well that I've faced them before. It's just not a good match for Sylvanels because you kind of need them to break. Then a Kadim Chariot that I just don't want going into my Blade Dancers, and the big one, the Naphtha Thruster, effectively a flame cannon again. Ugh. So it's just not good. Then 2 Vassal Slingshots to put those good old flaming tokens on you to make you easier to reroll to wound effectively for shooting and combat, and then 2 Citizen Giants that have a 3+ save and one with lots of strength and one with a tower shield, so distracting combat. So really quite annoying with that. I thought I'm in a good position. I've got some poison shooting that can deal with them. I've got enough fast stuff to go around the flanks and get rid of his flaming cannon. And again, it's 24 inches range, so I've got the time to destroy it. My big problem was I knew his Pyromancy Wizard. Luckily, no Bastion, which I'm forever grateful for because that thing's painful. But it's going to be in one of the big blocks, probably the Citadel Guard or the Immortals, and I won't be able to touch it unless I've gone for a while. So it's one of those things that maybe I can throw my but it's one of those things maybe I can throw my Avatar at. None of his infantry have big weapons, but the only problem is if I get stuck on that and I get lots of giants in the flank, it's going to be quite painful. So going forward with magic, yep, I chose Healing Waters, so that wasn't very clever, but I thought it might help with the rest of his shooting. But mainly entwining roots to minus some of his shooting. Stone Skin, they're going to be my big ones to keep myself alive. Master of Earth, just to plink off wounds, especially from his war machines when I need them. And the Forest Embrace, just to give me some soft cover throughout. He chose his Hereditary, which is really good against elves because it's what, offensive, defensive skill. I don't think it's agility, but it just makes them quite dangerous, and obviously it gives tokens as well, so it pairs quite nicely with his bolt throws. And then Fireball, Pyroclastic Flow, and Cascading Fire for that good old burning action. With Lamassu, as I said, I chose Extra Channel, so it only had Word of Iron and Breath of Corruption. Breath of Corruption is a flaming weapon, breath attack, so it overcomes all my good stuff to prevent that. And Word of Iron is just annoying because it mitigates my good AP, and especially when all the armor they've got, that's quite dangerous as well. So deployment, as you can see here, so what we had was a ruins, a forest, and we had a hill on the left, another hill, an impassable, a what they call field, a wall, and another forest. I thought I got to choose for this side. No, he got to choose, and then he chose that side. I completely forgot it was counter thrust, and I let him choose first. So he dropped one of his units first. I think it was a chariot, and so that was me pushed right back, straight from the center. So or it was the artillery. I can't remember exactly, but we traded for drops, and then he dropped for first. So what my plan was here, I knew he dropped 4 giants on this side, so I kept my wild humps in here. They're going to basically go after that unit there. I've got some chaff as well in case I fail a frenzy check, that I can move up to here and keep out of arc pretty much over there. I've kept the avatar on this side, so I can either use the hill and then go left into his units or right into his giants, and the tree and the druid on the dragon is just behind that, so it can provide direct support in case I start losing wounds very quickly. But it can also jump across around here and use the hill as cover. I've then got the small unit of dryads, 2 units of small dryads flanking the blade dancers. So the blade dancers can push into the woods and they can follow up. If I can get into there and push him back, then maybe I can challenge for this central objective because he's got this impassable here. So he's only going to be able to get really 2 scoring units in there, I feel. And then the big dryads are going to go around to the left, try and keep out of range of and view of this flame cannon, and mop up this left-hand side against the Citadel Guard. So on his side, he's got his 2, and then on my further left, I've got Briar Maidens and Heath Hunters and Sentinels to start taking out some of these war machines and wrap up this left flank. He's got the 2 bolt throwers there. He's then got his Citadel Guard with the flintlock axes. Citadel Guard with pistols and spear, but it also has Pyronasters in there. His Shackled Slaves behind to give battle. It's something to do with shooting and basically makes him quite good. Or is it combat or DTs? I don't know, but it was one of the reasons I didn't take Great Spirit. Flame Cannon, it's on a bigger base than it should be, but it's still quite a cool model. The Lamassu itself, fantastic sort of birdie creature thing. His Immortals in front with his BSB, the Chariot, the Kim Warriors, Disciples of Luga, that's the one. And then he's got his 2 giants, really coolly marked, so one with a shield, one with a giant club. Cool. And there's further on my left where you can see the Sentinels with their hiding behind the tree, the Briar Maidens. And I'd put the Briar Maidens in front. I knew, yes, I wouldn't be able to Vanguard, but I thought if I Vanguarded, he'll march up and he'll just shoot off my Heath Hunters turn 1 with them. So I thought, just keep the Briar Maidens in front to give them a bit of cover. So Vanguards in turn 1. So I Vanguarded up to there. So his first turn 1, he couldn't actually see them. So what he did, he brought his Disciples up onto the hill. He's covered his right flank to threaten my Wild Huntsman, and he countercharged with his Chariot. And he's brought his 2 giants into the center. So he's seen what I want to do with my avatar. He's going to use his mortals as bait because they're not going to run. And then he can countercharge with some quite big stuff. He's sporting it with Lamassu, but it's quite mobile. It can use this hill to bounce around when need. And then he's just slowly moving up the other side. He doesn't need to rush yet, and he just needs to get within 6 inches for that turn 2. And as you can see, he's pushed up quite hard on this side. Maybe he could have used them to stay a bit further back, but it did draw my Dryads out. Otherwise, my Dryads would have gone into the center, so it's potentially a good idea. He then got Breath of Corruption up on here to kill off the Heath Hunters. I didn't stop that, and then he's used some Pyro spells in the center to kill off some Dryads. He's also put a Flaming Marker on the Dryads, but they're out of range of the Flaming Cannon anyway. So next couple of turns that'll be annoying, but not essential now. In Breath of Corruption, he does kill only 3 Heath Hunters, but they do pass their panic check, so I was pretty happy with that. It just means the chaff is still there, and yeah, it's not blocking any of my way, so that's all good. So I can still use them in later turns. But this is my turn. He left me a flank charge of my Wild Huntsman into his disciples, and I gave it. I didn't even bother with the frenzy check. I just went, I'm going for it. I needed a 9 or a 10, so it wasn't impossible. But also I could figure I'd get onto there and potentially overrun into his Immortals. Now, even if his Giants went in, yes, they kill the Wild Huntsman probably, but I'd absolutely mess up. If I got the right spells off, I'd mess up 2 units. And I think with the Disciples in the flank, I get enough hits. It's just one of those things. I could still use these Heath Hunters to get around and chaff whatever I needed to. So it's not an ideal. So he fled that. As you can see, they ran all the way over there, passing through everything else, passed its panic check, and then I failed a charge there. But otherwise, no problem. I moved the Avatar forward so that 1 Giant and the Immortals could see. I wasn't that bothered about him coming in at that point. And then move the dragon up so he's out of arc of everyone, but can look this way. So if the Immortals come forward or anyone charges the Avatar, they're getting a dragon in the flank. I moved the Heath Hunters back so I could keep them for later turns. I don't need to chaff anyone yet. And then otherwise I just move the forward centre slowly. I wasn't prepared yet to take a charge. And this, I didn't want to get shot by the flame cannon yet. I just didn't have a way of dealing with it. And that thing going through my units is just not fun. I probably should have taken a more aggressive stance just to support, because otherwise the Avatar and the dragon, I kind of left them on their own. And then the Dryads pushed up on the left just to get after those Citadel Guard as soon as possible. I didn't want to stand off, and it was just about getting in there as soon as possible. And you can see that beer there. I had that was one of many. I love a good brewdog so much. So bad a hangover on Monday. It just hit me on the way back. And oh, it was painful. I think my wife has banned me because I moaned that much from drinking too much at any more wargaming tournaments, and she is right. I was a mess. So be a bit more in the water next time. And then on the left-hand side, I moved the Dryads up. It's as tried, and the Centaurs onto the hill. This is to start going after this. So you can see I've put 4 wounds on that one. I thought, damn it, but actually that worked quite well. And Heath Hunter's up to here to shoot, but yeah, he's put them right in the range of Citadel Guards. So that's 200 points that are probably going to disappear soon. In IDs 2, he failed to rally, so they ran a bit further away. I was very lucky with that. So grateful for that. But otherwise, he moved his giant and the shield round here to tempt my Wild Huntsman. He's out of arc of anything, and he's just sort of, he feels that if the Wild Huntsman charge, they don't break. He'll be steadfast, and then he can counter charge with the chariot. I'm not too bothered by that. I've still got chaff here. I've still got the dragon I could put in front of the chariot and buff it with strength. I'm not overly concerned yet. But otherwise, he's kept the centre pretty good with the dragon giant just moving out of arc of the Avatar, but threatening. So it's pretty good. And then centre just moving up, making sure he's commanding that spoil in the centre. I've got to go into range. And yeah, there's nothing more I can do. He gets a low magic phase off initially, which is quite useful. And then, yeah, so he doesn't kill too much. But his shooting, he managed to put he sees a threat from the Briar Maidens. He puts a token on them, but then he doesn't follow it up with any real shooting. And then the remainder of his magic, he's still powerful enough. He causes a Dryad to die from this unit, just picking off the scoring, because he knows if he can get them out of the way, he's got the objective, and picks off 4 Blade Dancers in the centre. That's not great. My dragon is far away, so this is one of the weaknesses of the list, where the dragon has to make a choice between babysitting the Blade Dancers a bit and the Avatar, and that's kind of where I like the dragon and the Tree Father Ancient. I would prefer it reversed for this list because it pairs well with the Briar Maidens. And unless I get Summer Growth off, I can't do it. So as long as you stop that, you can keep plinking Blade Dancers off. So anyone playing Silvernails, that's the way to go. But if you've got something with Oaken Throne up, you can force people to make a choice, and you can actually bring some models back at least. And then, yeah, he shot off a Briar Maiden, but he's also, as you can see here with his Sigil Guard, absolutely deleted this Heath Hunter unit. I thought about getting rid of one, and in my head that was a big thing, but actually maybe I should have left them out of range and then moved them in. I could have saved them there. Don't need to rush as much. There's no imperative to go through there. So my turn. Briar Maiden's charged into that, and as you can see, I've so that's at the end actually, I think, but I don't understand that. No, yeah, we charged in, we killed that one and overrun into the second one. I can't remember why, but either way, that was the way it worked. And then the Dryads obviously charged into the Citadel Guard. That was about an 8. That was always the plan. It was either going to be this turn or next turn. It was just depending on how many times he shot me. So the one advantage of him shooting my Heath Hunters was, yes, he got the points, but now my Dryads are in and they're pretty much fully in 23. And then I took this view here. I took the Wild Huntsman in, and I didn't get that much magic off it in anything. I got 4 wounds through on it, but I also chaffed up here. Sorry, I think these are my only pictures of this turn too. I've done very little in the centre. It's a bit of a standoff at the moment, and I'm trying to heal my Blade Dancers, but he stopped that quite well. And then, yeah, these, just in case they didn't break through, because I didn't expect it to, but I thought maybe I can kill him in subsequent turns. But he rolled some good dice for saves, but the Chariot's not coming in. But he does break. He's got 5 wounds, and he breaks some runs to there. He's going to rally in next turn, probably, because it'll be on leadership 8. I haven't gone down to half points, but it does mean I'm charging him next go, and he's going to die. In this combat here, you can see it's a bit of a slugfest. So he doesn't kill much of me. I kills him, but Citadel Guard counters like an extra rank or steadfast or something. But effectively, they pass and stick. So I'm going to have to slowly grind down that unit. It's not going to be a quick fight. In this one, you can see in the ID turn 3. So he charges the Chariot into the Heath Hunters, and then he rallies both his Giant and his Disciples of Lugar. That's only fair. I don't see what's wrong with that. So, but he's also brought his other Giant round in the hope that he can charge into there and kill. So I'll charge him, and then I can get counter charge. What I don't think he realizes, he left me an overrun into his Chariot if he didn't move it out of the way, and what he does is he doesn't see that. So that is what I was thinking. If he overrun, but then I just go through and I potentially go out of arc of this Giant if I can go far enough. It's not insurmountable. But then I get charged by the Disciples of Lugar. So the Wild Huntsmen are going for it, but I just need to take as many people with me as well. And then the Lamasu's come round because I've threatened with the dragon. He's like, crap, I've got to get this side. And it just sets him away from supporting the Immortals in the centre. Magic is pretty uninspiring. I don't get any more Blade Dancers off, which is annoying. And so I put quite a few buffs on the Wild Huntsman just because I know they're going... Sorry, in his combat, they kill that. And I don't overrun because I don't really want to charge into Shackled Slaves. They will get eaten by them, and I want to do something else. But again, we kill a few of each other. In here, no one's buffed or anything, but we don't do anything. In his magic. Magic, here we go again. That is my dead pile of Blade Dancers. So all that is left is my BSB, which is about 535 points when you add the 200 total in. So this pretty much ends my ability to get the scoring objective. I haven't got time to get the Dryads back round because I need the Blade Dancers are my only hope of removing this unit here. I can remove the Immortals and see if they faced off against the Avatar pretty easily. I'm happy with that. But what I can't do is go after this unit at the same time, and I need to push them back because the Blade Dancers could drop over this side. Now the Briar Maidens can start, and the Sentinels can start attacking this flame cannon just to give them a bit of space. But that's pretty much over now. I haven't got an answer for that. So Joe wins the objective, turn 3. Sorry, here's the combat. As you can see, the Dryads have got them down. so I should hopefully be able to break the steadfast next turn and get them to run. And the Brymanians are killed off. They're going to mess around with his back line some more. His chariot has killed my Heath Hunters, and you can see it's lined up. So I'm going to charge and overrun, but it does mean that I've got to do something about this, and I wasn't really sure. So what I do is I launch both my monsters into the Immortals because I just wanted to see if I could push, because I can push on this side and break his Immortals. I didn't realise they were unbreakable at this point, so bad on me not knowing the rules. I thought I could punch through there, go into his next one, and then start pushing up with Dryads to try and do this. So I didn't know I'd lost the objective at this point in the game. If I'd known that, I probably would have moved the Avatar round to go and threaten this, and move the Dragon over here just to keep the Disciples of Lugar happy, because I think even if he goes in, I could do some damage or something like that. Maybe threaten these ones. But actually, this is worth quite a lot with his BSB. So maybe I'd have thrown the Avatar in there and then blocked off this with my Dragon. Because I've put my Wild Huntsman here. I'm pretty sure they're going to take the last wounds off. Overrun into there. And then I can stop this. And then even if his Giant goes in, I can kill the Chariot. Maybe. And then hold on his Giant. I don't know. But that was the plan there. Otherwise, these guys are going to break them. They've come up again. I'm just starting to try and plink off wounds here, as you can see, between the Briars and the Sentinels. I'm starting to take the odd wound down. I'm not going to touch the Sentinels. They can be dealt with by the Dryads. And that's that. As you can see with my BSB, he's down to 1 wound, I think because of hereditary on Pyro, some reason. He's behind there, he's out of arc. I just need to keep him alive, but I need to keep him close enough to the Dragon so I can keep rehealing. But otherwise, I just need it away from the Pyro. He can't be seen at the moment, so he's got to kill the Dryads first. And that's the thought behind there. In combat, I get Summer's Growth off to get some more Dryads back, which is good because they're going to need them to go through the slaves. I've put 3 wounds. So firstly, the first 2 were actually done with the Briar Maidens, so them 4, and then they put another wound on there, so we've only got a couple left, so I can kill that next turn. And then combat. So I do kill the Giant and overrun into the Chariot, get them down. They lose any sort of steadfast, but they pass. And then in this combat, the Thunderstorms go to town. I absolutely murder the Immortals, and he's not passing any 5+ Aegis. So really happy with that. I was quite confident at this point that I was going to overrun into there. So that was pretty good. And he did like minimal moves back to me. And I was like, yep, I'm going to do your BSB, and I'm going to do the rest of your unit. I should have attacked the BSB, but I didn't at this stage because I thought I would be able to. I didn't realise there was a 5+ Aegis against all Thunderstorms until it happened. So again, not knowing the rules, but I thought I could kill the unit because once I found out they were unbreakable, I was like, I need to kill the unit, otherwise I'm stuck there. Because it doesn't matter how, if his BSB is losing on 8, he's not re-rollables. Leadership is not going to help that. So pushed him out. As it happens on his turn, so what he did was he charged his Disciples of Lugar into there. And because of that, he was like, I'm going to kill him. So he didn't charge the Giant in, and he moved the Giant and Lamassu back in so that they could have a look at the centre. And you can see here, they're threatening my scoring units here and just making sure they can also threaten the Dragon and the Avatar on later turns. The big plan here is to try and get Breath of Corruption off on this guy whilst pyroing these Dryads and somehow meet in the centre. He's used the Flame Cannon and killed all bar my champion of the Briar Maidens, so that's left. And then between magic, there's 1 Dryad left, which would be the bane of his life because now it's a single model. But he fails to get the last 2 wounds off my Blade Dancer champion, so that is very good news as well. And I don't know what he's got there. I'm presuming that's Word of Iron just to give him a bit of save. Because my big thing there was like, I must stop Breath of the Corruption, so I stopped that. In combat, I kill his chariot, and then he murders my unit. There is one, the champion is remaining, he runs, and he doesn't chase after him, and that's because he just wants him to go back into the centre and save his Immortals unit. And there's bigger fish to fry, but that's one of there's potential I could re-heal them in the future. In the centre, I kill even more of the unit. There's only a couple of them left now, but I was hoping on my turn I could actually get rid of them all, and then yes, I'd have to take a charge from the disciples, but maybe they wouldn't want to go in, and I could, yeah, it just gives me a lot more freedom. But I wouldn't really, but it was going to be problematic. I thought I was going to kill them in their turn, in my turn, and then get charged by the world. So I didn't really have a plan for that one, but stick in. But I wasn't too bothered about it because I drunk a bit. So yeah, I was pretty happy. In my turn, I ran the Wild Huntsman on minimised leadership, so that was good. That was a nice surprise. And then you can see here what my choices were. So what I did was I moved the Dryad. You can see Joe there. Just move the Dryad in front of the Dragon, so Giant, so he's not charging into the rear of that combat. I've moved the Blade Dancer BSB behind as far away as possible over here, and that's so I can get within 12 inches of range, get that last wound back off. And it also means he's not being charged by a Lamassu. And I've brought the Briar Maiden around to here. I thought even if he charged there, I can run. Just have another plink off of this, whilst also being able to be in range of that, so I can get a few more Briar Maidens back. And the Dryads have gone into Shackled Slaves, so I'm pretty confident I'm going to go through them as well. So that's just picking up points before maybe having to go after the Flame Cannon. The Flame Cannon gets shot to death by everyone, slash magicked by that. In combat, I do not kill the unit. Couldn't believe it. They were the Immortals mained. The Giants had charged into my Dryad and smashed it, so that was that one gone. But importantly, my BSB is alive. I'm ready to go. On his turn, so Blessing in Disguise, as we talked earlier, I have my Dragon back. Or sorry, my Dragon Avatar still stuck in combat. They've still got good wounds, but it means he cannot shoot me. He couldn't get any other people in apart from the Disciples of Luger, so he charged them in. Gives them a bit of combat res, but it means I've got the Avatar still in combat with both because it was wide base, and I'm still pretty confident that I'm going to do some stuff. You can see my Dryads smash the Shackled Slaves. They're running to there. They haven't got any leadership, good leadership, so they're probably running off next turn, and I've turned to face into the centre to try and deal with that. On his ID, he's turned around there to have a look at my Dryads because they're his big threat. And yeah, he's pretty much ignoring my Dryads and Sentinels in this direction, so I'm pretty happy. I'm just moving him up. Or I will be trying to take out some more wounds off these guys. I want a combination of this. I might need him as chaff, but also because if they're still stuck there, I don't want the Giant going into the back. But also I might be able to grow them back. That's just a picture there. He gets loads of magic off that. It effectively, I think it was Word of Iron and other stuff. If I put my Dryads in there, they're going to die. Yeah, his Giant kills the Dryad. Not surprising. I don't think we even rolled for it. I rolled for my wounds and I just took him off. But I did no wounds to him, so nothing. He overran, but he didn't overrun very far. And now it's and here you can see in his turn 5, I've beaten the Disciples of Luger. They ran, and I can't remember what happened here. I think this might be my turn 5, this right hand picture. So I kill them in my turn 5 because in his turn 6, so this is my this is my turn 5. So I kill them in my turn 5. So I've had 2 turns of combat with them. I chased after my Dragon, which is why he's there, and I killed them. And the Avatar's still facing here at the end of my turn. So he's got his turn 6 coming up now. I've moved the Wild Huntsman over to this side just to chaff the Giant up. I've shot the Giant with the Scouts just to give him a bit of more thing. I've got this bad boy here. Still, I'm trying to heal him, but we'll just keep him out of harm's way of this whilst trying to keep that 12 inches between the Avatar and them. But my main priority in Magic phase was just get the wounds back on the Avatar of Nature so that no dodgy spells or a Lamassu or so basically a cheap charge could go there. Yeah. In his turn 6, he charged the Giant in and smashed the last Wild Huntsman champion for no wounds. He's got this round. He did Breath of Corruption, and look at him. The Blade Dancer is alive. God knows how. Yeah, I'm not sure myself, but somehow in the magic he survived. But he charged the drives. This was the big one, and he, even though in 20 roots is on there, he got his hereditary up on here. So I think he also got Word of Iron off. So, or there was a combination. I didn't dispel very well. I'm not even convinced I used my binding scroll this game actually, which was another flaw. I should have just, yeah, that was another flaw. But anyway, or maybe I did. It was to protect the Blade Dancer BSB at one time. Either way, he's gotten 20 roots off, but he's got ranks. He's got a charge. He's pretty good in there with spears. He's tough. He's better armored than I am. So it's going to come down to my saves versus his. I only kill 3, even with Horde going forward, and then he completely bounces my back flank. He's obviously won combat by a load. I run, I get run down, and that's the end of the game. So, but he's got the objective, but I know it says secondary DE there. I need to get better at this, even panicking through work. But he's only killed 1900 points, just over, and I've killed 3160. So I am massively ahead. What was a 13-7 now gets put to a 10-10, so draw overall. Really fun game. Quite swingy at times. It was quite funny that my Blade Dancers yet again suffer even with MR4 against Pyro, but the Wild Huntsman, but it does stop him taking Scorching Salvo, which is quite good. I think that would have been far more dangerous for me as he would walked into the centre and just dominated the game. The Wild Huntsman did quite well, defeating a giant and a chariot. I think they easily made their points back. So 5, 6, 5, yeah. So they made their points back on 50 points, and then chaffed up quite a bit, and they sort of dominate that right flank, taking the Disciples of Luger out for a bit. But otherwise, the Avatar munching through the Immortals and the Dragons. So between them, they munched through about 900 points just of them, and then you've got to hand it to the Briar Maidens, who came round and did for the Infernal Artillery and both Vassal Slingshots. That's a pretty good score for them. So I think Briar Maidens, maybe a bigger unit in the future, might be quite good. The Dryads didn't do bad this game. I mean, looking at those Citadel, well, there's 431 points for 17 of them, so they went through them, and the Shackled Slaves, so they did quite well this game. So maybe not to write them off yet. Maybe I need to just work out. Like, I had a plan of who I was going to aim for more. So, and I don't think I did in the other games. So let's put that down to that actually. So Dryads were good, I think. Which also thoughts on the game, because I haven't got a hobby. So thoughts on the game. Blade Dancers dying to large pyro spells. I need to work out when I can push them and when I can't, because I don't seem to be able to work that out with pyro. It just I get it wrong. That's what 2-3 times now. 3 times, 2. But either way, it's been 3 times. Yes, so 3 times I've got this wrong now, and it's cost me it's a significant number of points and the plan itself. So I need to be better with them. Large drivements have significant limits if not buffed. So I think this is true. And you've got to pick your unit size. So anything too large or too powerful, there's sort of like there's a happy medium of where they can do really well or and where they can't do. And then Briar Maidens, they can be quite robust. So I think if I sort of do them with a unit of 7, yeah, 7, maybe 8, still with poison. I mean, when you think of that last game with all the Krakens, it just. Yeah, it comes in. They could also do flank charges. So maybe this is where I have to start looking. So thinking about that. And then my last one is still, I have to choose between the dragon or the druid mage on the dragon, between dancers and the avatar. And I know I could use the Briar Maidens, but that means I'm not using them on the flank where I want them to be, especially with Master of Earth and their poison shooting. I want them to be mobile, not in the center. So this goes back to my thing. I think this just keeps reinforcing the idea that I want that dragon on the flank, and I want the Tree Father Ancient in the center. He's quite a robust character. I find he's quite good for me, and it just means he's there looking after the Dryads and Blade Dancers, making sure I keep that BSB bubble. Yeah, so I think that's it. So I think that's where I do need to look. Obviously, no hobby corner. And that's that. So thank you very much for listening. That was me. Sort of at this point, I'm with 23 points, which is quite good actually for day 2. It's not getting. I'm not nearing that 50 mark I sort of dreamed of, but I would have wanted to get it over 40. But it's not bad going into the next game. Had a good curry on this night, but overall a good first day actually. I was pretty happy with that. Coming out 10 points with against Inferno Dwarfs, especially with Pyromaster, is really good for me. So overall a good game. Thank you very much for watching. Look forward to the next one.